Happy Saturday, y'all. It's Kate, and Kate Rambles On. Okay, I'm a real person. I hope you saw that. I'm sure it was stupid, but you know me, I don't like to be on camera. My Frank and knee can be on camera. Yeah, dreading the surgery. Dreading the 3 months that I'm going to be incapacitated when I'm not incapacitated now, except for verbally. So, anyway, I'm sitting behind the camper out of the sun. Right now, this cedar is giving me a little shade, and the trees behind me and above me. This is the side of my camper y'all never see. Water hookup, power, water, sewage hose. The same stuff I wrap it with in the winter to help insulate it, I leave it on in the summer to keep from drying and cracking and having this big bright orange thing sticking out the back of my camper. So this is the back side. And this is the slide out, which is my dinette for 4. And my bedroom window and the bird feeder that never gets visited. The dripping is coming from my AC unit. Condensation, and right there, that little spigot there at the corner. I don't know if I can get my hand in here. Corner of the camper, there's a little spigot there, kind of hanging off, and it's dripping into my watering pot. Yeah, Kate tries to be as efficient and self-sufficient as possible. But I did last night make a big boo-boo. I turned the sprinkler on low, and I put it, set it over in the tomatoes so it would water the tomatoes, and it would come over here and get the zucchini, which is in the bag. You can take a better look at it in a minute. Maybe getting up and down is just with my knee, but there's zucchini in the bag. Cucumbers, I've eaten 2 of them. These are the pickling ones, so they're not the long slicers, but I like to pick them when they're about the size of my hand. While they're still really tender and young, and the seeds aren't real big, but yeah, I have eaten a couple and they've been really good. So I've got one there. I've got a couple of small ones down here, and I got a nice looking one right there. But so the cucumbers are really happy about getting super soaked overnight. Some of the marigolds were not, but the tomatoes I've eaten sliced 2 green. I've eaten 2 green, fried green tomatoes, and I've got. Zoom in. I got my shades on, and I cannot see the screen with my shades. So I've got the tomato right there. Can you see it right in the middle of the screen? Camouflage. And then I got one right over here in that little thing. So just that little V. So there's one right there in the middle of the screen and the V of that little vine. And then there's another one right there. Yep, very camouflaged, but the plant I gave to my sister didn't seem to be doing much. It seems to have fallen behind a little bit, but I think but now it's blooming, and it's almost as big as these. I think it was just shock, going from the ground to the pot to a different lighting, different air, different humidity, being right there in town in an apartment. But it's got blooms on it. I stopped by yesterday to chat with her, just every 2 weeks I try to stop in and say hey, or when I can, and talk about my upcoming surgery. And in fact, I'm going to have to go to a rehab probably because I don't have anyone to take care of me, but that's fine. And mainly because I can't get in and out of my camper very well, and I can't get in and out of my bathroom or on or off my bed. So until I can be released to at least bend my knee, even though I can't put weight on it, once I'm released to be able to bend it, then I can maneuver around my camper just fine. But with it in a straight brace, I'm going to have to store my bed, fold up the Murphy bed, and buy a recliner to be able to get in and out and have to sit and sleep. So, yeah, I'm not real happy with that. But after 2 weeks, I should be able to drive if I'm off the drugs, if I'm not taking a lot of pain meds. So that's all I need. A couple of weeks in a rehab, or at least, a few, depending until I can bend it. And so, we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. But this is a different view. This is the back side of the green stalk. Growing out the top of it nice and tall are the volunteer sunflowers. Just the common Oklahoma sunflowers. You can see some marigolds, some pink underneath the million bells. There's some zinnia popping out. And on the other side, you can kind of see them sticking out a little further than the marigolds. So, and I've got little baby zinnia coming up in the front flower bed, and we'll walk around there in a second. But I just wanted to say, hey, I'm still here. I've just been, yesterday was the 1 month since I put Pandy to sleep, so I really this week felt it before I realized what the date was. But yeah, and then dealing with the surgery crap and crap at work and inconsistent employees and whatever, and hateful ass neighbors. Yeah, see, his lot is where those 2 trees are, to the other side of his camper, where that little grass is. That guy at the end. But he wants to clear all the shit that's not his property, and he wants to use the little mower and weed eater that are battery powered Kubotas that live in the back of the laundry room. And they're for all of us to be able to mow our little spaces where the landlord can't get to with his riding mower. And it's for everyone to use. But 3 days in a row I couldn't get to it because Tom had it at his house. Clearing shit. I thought someone, about 8:30 at night one night, I thought I heard somebody with a die grinder. I'm like, who's the fuck hitting metal? What's going on? He was out weed eating about a tree about 50 feet from his house. I was with the weed eater that is for the whole lot. He was weed eating stuff that thing's not built for. And so the other day I came home Thursday night and I was hot and tired, but we had a little cloud cover and I needed to mow really bad. And when I came home, I saw the weed eater just laying out in front of his camper. He was doing other shit. And I came in the house and cooled off for a bit. And he was down hauling rocks and pushing shit around. He wasn't doing mowing. So the mower was sitting over there. So I walked over there and said, hey, I'm taking the mower. No, you're not. I'm using it. I said, no, you're not fucking using it. You're down there pushing your little barrel. I need the mower. Why? I'm like, you don't own this. He's like, get the fuck off my property. Don't come talking to me like that. I'm like, oh, excuse me? For one, this isn't your property. For two, the mower is not your property. I said, and don't you ever disrespect me again. You limp dick motherfucker. That's what I said to him. I know, it's horrible I said that. I was just so pissed. And the thing's got mud all over it. It's been sitting out under those cedar trees. He's not been putting it away. He's just been hoarding it. And consistently, and I mentioned to the landlord, I said, the equipment's getting wore out and nobody gets to use it because he's using it on stuff other than just the grass around his camper. That's all he's supposed to use it on. But he's paranoid that snakes. I'm like, a snake is not going to travel 50 feet from its hiding place all the way across some open ground to come and eat your little dog. Yeah. And the only snakes that have been seen are the ones he's been stirring up by excavating and doing yard crap that's not even his yard. It's just the property. I don't know. He's a cranky old pervert. Takes too much testosterone and is a woe is me. I mean, I don't have a problem or beef with anyone here. I'm friends with everybody. I don't mess with anyone. You don't mess with me. I don't mess with you. But, he's disrespected me before, and this passive-aggressive note he left on my door, addressed to the wrong name, of course, and every conversation with him is about his past exploits or how much money he had or businesses he had or he was a bodybuilder, blah, blah, blah. He's about 5'4". He's got a Napoleon complex, of course. Not that all short men do, but, he's just kind of old pervert. He's always, chatting up and hitting up young women just to be friends and chat. And I'm like, and then, he talks to the other neighbor, Richard Garza, who has actually cooked for me twice, and I did invite him over for dinner. But his conversation has ended at kind of the same place. He has nothing new to add to the conversation that he hasn't already told me. And he's not, I don't know, he's not a dumb guy, but we're not intellectually on the same plane. So stuff I like to talk about or interested in is just way over his head. But Tom in the big camper bitches at him about everybody. Tom's just a gossip. He walks around on cooler days and he'll stop at anybody he sees and chat and diss about somebody else in the park. He's like that. If you ever remember the show Bewitched, an American sitcom in the 60s, syndicated in the 70s, there's a Mrs. Kravitz, a little lady who always looked out her window as a busybody and liked to stir up stuff in the neighborhood. And yeah, that's it. That's what he has become. So yeah, that is our laundry. If you're new to my little community here, there's only 14 of us. That has 2 washers and 2 dryers that are free to use and maintained by our landlord. And then there's a little shed attached to it. Well, the pump's there. Sorry. Pump house is in this one back corner, and then the other side's a little shed for the mower and the weed eater. But anyhow, we're going to walk around the front. Bugs are starting to land on me. It's probably 11 o'clock and it's almost pushing 90 degrees. It's going to be today is supposed to be a heat warning. So anyway, my big red bell pepper is still green. I think you can see it there. I'm going to go in today. I'm going to cut up the jalapeno and eat it with some cheese and see how hot it is. But it's blooming again. I haven't got another mammoth jalapeno. That one's still in the fridge also. So yeah, we'll come back and I'm going to try to let these just start to lighten and get pink before the stage that any birds or bugs want them. Which bugs eat them whenever, but anyway, in my opinion, and then I'll bring them in and let them finish ripening. And sometimes it keeps the skin from being quite as tough. But yes, I got a lot of cucumbers. So yeah, they're doing well. I think I'm going to set up a couple chairs and one day make a little thing back here for different parts of the day. So I do prefer to be up front because it's closer to the door. Zinnia, marigolds, million bells. Thyme, million bell, marigolds. Zinnia, marigold, million bell. Basil. The hibiscus had a bunch of blooms on it the other day. It should have some more in a couple days. Their blooms only last for 24 hours. If you didn't know that. Here's more zinnia, not bloomed. I'm looking for the camera, but I can't see because of the darn sun. It's so hot. More zinnia. This is a rose bush my brother gave me. We'll just see if it does anything. If not, it wasn't, it's just a little gift. It wasn't an expensive or... Okay. There's the squirrel family. We've been having little words all morning. I filled the bird feeders. And here's one of them over here on the bird feeder. They know they've got seed there. They've got seed sown on the ground. There's like 6 of them. Hey. 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 Yeah, did you see that little? So, I have this on here when the birds are really active because it keeps it open for them. So even some of the little heavier birds, because to me it's a little sprung, I don't know. But I take this off when the squirrels start figuring out if they can get into it. And then I'll just leave this here. And when the squirrels are not around and I know the birds are dominating, I'll come reopen it. That one they can't get in either. That one they can. And it's got seeds, see? Look right there above it on the right. He knows. There's another one up in the tree. I've thrown lots of seed out for them out there. They've got some groundwater. Because they like to get into one bird bath and they make it filthy. And in the silver bowl there, it's a rock that keeps the bowl from flipping out when the crows land on it or the squirrels get too froggy in and out of it. They'll flip it out and waste it. So I started putting a rock in there. The big white chunks are a couple of biscuits this morning that I got busy watching a video and forgot about. And they didn't burn, but they got way too done for me. So I broke them up and threw them out there. And the crows have been picking at them and other little things. Critters are coming to eat them tonight. But yeah, these squirrels are not afraid of me. I've hit them in the booty with my little 2-foot rake before. Just, or not really hit them, but brushed at their tail to get them to move. And they're like, hey, lady. So this morning while I was filling this feeder, there were a couple chickadees on the other feeder just watching me. So my resident chickadees, they know me. They're not afraid of me. They know I'm not a threat. Here is the pumpkins. Look at them going crazy. Let's walk around here a bit. Another volunteer sunflower. Still some Indian blanket popping up. A little bit left. There's a prettier one right there. So, let's see. I'll back out just a little bit. Cornflower. Pretty. So yeah, some more Indian blanket's gonna open up, but we've got these magenta cosmos. We've got some dwarf zinnia, and then all these little bitty things you see, more zinnia, all zinnia. And then we've still got 4 o'clocks dispersed all through here. These have come up. These don't open till the evening. I stay open all night until the sun comes up. The fuchsia seems to be the most prevalent and takes over, but it looks like I'm going to have a white one here. It'd be great if it would be a gold, but I don't think I had any of the yellow gold last year. I'm hoping the red have some of these smaller ones over here, the red ones, because I've just let them go to seed and fall down. I collected a few seed and shared them with the grumpy neighbor across the street. And hens are coming up, so looked at him the other day. I mean, I don't have a beef with him, but I'm like, dude, I'm the last person you want to talk with. I'm angry, I'm menopausal, I'm not happy about my knee, I'm in pain all the time. Don't mess with me, dude. I have no mercy and I give no quarter. I'm past that stage of my life. Past that stage of my life. I get you nowhere. At least where I've been, where I'm from. So I'm just pulling some crabgrass, Bermuda, and just horrible weeds. But I do have coming from Amazon today some Fisker grass clippers. Because I don't like the weed eater beating up my sandstone and chipping up crap off my little logs. I mean, it's just temporary for the summer, but I want it to last for the summer. So anyway, here's the morning glories. I don't know when they're going to bloom. Probably July, August. But, and they go up about, that's probably 10 feet, 10, 11 feet to that branch. And then they're vining it up on the dead branches, and some are coming back down. So those will be a beautiful blue flower. And that guy right there, that's a downy woodpecker. She's a young one. They're been still hanging out with their parents. Here's Mr. Squirrel Cousin. That's a boy. I saw his business. Saw his junk. Here's one down here eating spillage. There's a whole bunch tossed over there. They're just greedy. So, because it's a super hot day, I've already come out and refreshed all the waters. This is for birds do drink out of it, but it's more butterflies and insects. But so I've got water dispersed around, and now I get my grass clippers. I may think about putting in another bird bath, but this to me is too sunny. You want some shade. So there we go. This is Kate's little wee garden so far. And this is a good time for zinnia to come up because it likes the heat, and it will it'll make sure I have a good July through September, or August through September, probably August through October showing of zinnia. And there's some other mixed wildflower seed in there, and I'm going to mix some more. I've been doing everything a little bit every week, every 2 weeks, so that I have a constant show of flowers and something growing. And I've been using different mixes, all for butterflies and pollinators and some shade mixes, but a little bit of everything, just to make a good variety for color, for the wildness of it, and so that the nectar lovers have a variety. There's the portulaca, the light pink and the pink. I should have put them in different spots because this is a porcelain pink. They're blending together, but you can see the difference in their flowers. They're in the same family. They're in the succulent family. Or do they fall into the bromeliad family? No, they're in the succulent family. So the jade's doing okay. After the crazy cool drops and all the rain, the little spiky aloe, they're holding up. They're holding in there, hanging in. See how they do. The old stuff hopefully will fall off and die off. And this is more portulaca. And this is a little bit of both colors together. Yeah, we're talking about you, Fred. So here's the goaty goats. This here is going to be some African marigolds. They're starting to get little bitty heads on them. We'll see if they're the flat ones, or I think they're going to be the big round ones. I'm not sure. There's a couple of different species, or is that the African daisy? I don't know. I've got so many different things planted. But here's the goaty goats out in their yard, hanging out back here in the shade, enjoying the cool breeze. And see, on the other side of the camper, there is a cooler breeze. Here's a couple big feeders that. This one's really heavy. It needs to be hung for something really strong, and I may donate it or wait till he gets some more fence up over here, or maybe back here attach something to the metal and then hang a bird feeder back here. But so now we're coming around the back side of where we started. So that's my ramblings. I'm getting hot and sweaty, and I need to go have something other than the couple of non-burnt biscuits I did have earlier. Lots of butter. One had butter and lemon curd. But last night I had my brace off and I was making something, and something hit the floor, and the way I quickly bent down, shifted my weight to reach down and get it, really hurt my knee. I think I made that little meniscus disc slide somewhere, so it was bothering me last night. So around the house even, if I'm up and moving, I'm keeping the brace on, just because I can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with the pain, and I don't want to be so sore, I can't work. I keep babying it until surgery, keep my leg as healthy as possible. So, yeah. Oh, look, there's another little baby cucumber growing. They grow from the flowers, if y'all didn't know that. But anyway, if you're not a gardener, same with tomatoes. I got lots of little blooms up here. So it's been 2-3 weeks since they were fed. So tomorrow's supposed to be a cooler day. I might give them a little more feed. I did mix a little bit more in there. I'll have to read on the bottle the one I used, but because we have had some rain, and they're raised beds, but they got really good drainage. So like when I water them really good, you can see quite a stream of water ends up going down to the pond. So and so that guarantees some of their nutrients are washing out of the bottom. So anyway, enough gardening, blah blah blah. So I've given everything a morning drink. That was some alyssum, but it's in the native red clay here, and I think it's just too hard and it's dying out, but I just left it there. These empty holes, I think I'm going to put just tuck some more wildflower seed in and see what comes out, because this does get lots of sun. And some of the things that are taller will have some support. Anyway, we'll see how things go. Just my little blue car, a big pollinator. I don't know what he is, but he's enjoying the purslane. They're for you, mister, if you like it. Alright, y'all. I'm going to cool off and have some lunch, and I'm waiting for my Amazon delivery, because there was no way. I was hiking around the store today, so I just ordered $150 worth of groceries. I'm waiting for it to be delivered. So that means I have an excuse for not leaving my house. Oh, we were going to walk over here. Oh, we did walk over and look at did we look at the pumpkins proper? I don't know if we did. We'll do that real quick and we'll end over there. I'm curious to see if that squirrel's going to stay right there by the feeder. But that's the volunteer pumpkin squash. The first identification said they were going to be butternut, and then the next one said just squash. So we'll see. And there's volunteer sunflowers coming up. I'm going to get a picture of it, one of its heads, blooms and flowers, and see if I get a better identification. But right here in the middle of it, right there in front of my finger, is a tomato plant. There was one growing back there, but it never came to. But all that stuff is different corn and grass seed growing from rice, no bird seed back there. And of course a bunch of more sunflowers. So it's not the most, something's eating the leaves, you can tell, the stalks, something's eating the sunflower leaves. And I don't think it gets as much sun along that fence as they would like, even though there's a little bitty one dangling down there. But we'll see what comes up once they come up. These are just what you see all along the highways here. Come August and September till fall, it'll just be yellow swaths of it all along the roads. I got some pictures last year. I'll try to get some pictures this year. I'm sure they're in the same family. They're just common sunflower seed. So anyway, started on the back side of the camper, and now we're ending on the back side of the wildflower bed. You guys have a great weekend. Love ya. Bye.